What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be discussing all the latest news around the managerial position at Barcelona. Of course, I'd probably upload usually a transfer video during this time, but transfer news makes no sense because we got no idea who the manager is going to be. Of course, if Xavi is going to be the manager, then the transfer plans and transfer rumors make sense, but if Xavi is not going to be the manager, it's all going to be blown into flames. So I'm not going to talk about transfers. We're going to wait until we know who the manager is to discuss actual transfer. But let's discuss some of the updates, of course, following the match over the weekend against Rayo Vallecano. Now, post-match, Xavi came out in the post-match press conference saying the exact same thing. No one's told me anything. I'm happy. I'm excited for next season. All this sort of stuff. He even mentioned that press conference he might even meet Joan Laporta right afterwards, which he did. So following his press conference, Joan Laporta came down to the locker room, greeted Xavi, said congratulations on the win, congratulations on finishing second place, but also said to him, I'm not feeling too well, let's meet and talk later. So there's no discussion on his future. They simply just met face to face like they usually do after every home game, even every game full stop as well. So nothing changed there, but he did mention he wasn't feeling too well and that they will talk about his future and the situation at a later date. According to reports, that later date will be after the match against Sevilla, which got moved from Saturday to Sundays. We're not going to hear nothing until Monday probably. So there you go. Now we do have some reports coming in, of course, since the Rayo Vallecano match the following day. Rafa Marquez came out saying that Joan Laporta is still firm on his decision to fire Xavi, but no one rules out that he could change his mind after a week. I mean, he's like a girl on his period, man. Bloody hell. Catalonia Radio came out saying that according to Xavi's entourage, Joan Laporta was very nervous in their brief meeting because the fans were whistling him and he was also sick. So apparently Joan Laporta is really sick. He wasn't feeling too well whatsoever. Mundo Deportivo also came out saying that Joan Laporta wants to fire Xavi but can't do so before he balances the accounts, secures a loan, and he's negotiating and renews the contract with Nike. Because again, keep in mind, it's going to cost Barcelona 20 million euros to sack Xavi unless Xavi and his brothers and his cousins and all his staff give up that wage, which I hope he does not do. I don't think Xavi has he doesn't owe anyone at this point. I think if he wants to take the money, great. If he wants to give up the money, if he is sacked, that's also great as well. So now, up until this point, the question is who is coming in if Xavi is replaced? And yet again, for the billionth time, this past month, everyone is split. Now, according to Hernandez, of course, the media outlet of Gerard Romero, he came out saying that different persons in the board have their own personal preference on who the new coach will be if Xavi does not continue. Joan Laporta, very hype on the German school. He wants either Hansi Flick or Thomas Tuchel. Rafael, my man, loyal, he wants to keep Xavi still. And Deco is in favor of either Rafa Marquez or Thiago Motta. I mean, talk about unity. Talk about synchronization. There's fucking none of that in the board. Everyone wants different people. I'm pretty sure Rafael will probably side with Joan Laporta if Xavi is not the one. But bloody hell, how does your president and your sporting director have two different perspectives? Listen, what I hate about this is that Joan Laporta is getting involved. Look, your job is to appoint the people you think is best to build the sporting project, and your job is to go get, the 50% of the sale for Barca Vision, renew the contract with Nike, check on the stadium S by Barca, get a deal for Spotify. That is your job. Sporting-wise, this should not be your decision whatsoever. You can put your input, I guess you have your personal preference, sure, but he should not be getting involved in this and also with signs as well. Remember, Joao Felix is a Joan Laporta signing. Mateo Alemán didn't want him. Jordi Cruyff did not want him. Xavi did not want him. Whether Deco wants him or not, I don't know, because Deco came in late. But that is a Joan Laporta signing, and I hate with the passion when the president gets involved in the sporting sector. That should be the job of Deco, Alemán, Jordi Cruyff, Xavi. Them three, they come together, and you just sign off and pay the bill. Whether you have maybe you have a big vendetta against a player, sure, but you should not be this heavily involved, I think, in my opinion, in this area. It should be what Deco wants. If you don't trust Deco, then fine, sack Deco. Apparently, Deco's future's in the air as well. You don't trust Deco, fine, sack him, bring someone else in. But if I'm Joan Laporta, I would say to Deco, whoever you think is best, because I trust you at the end of the day. That's how it should be. If Deco wants Rafa Marquez, I should pretty much tell you enough about him. Thiago Motta, there's a bit of a Thiago Motta hype right now. He got Bologna in the Champions League. He's apparently very close to the job at Juventus, which I think is a definite better next move for him to go to Juventus than it is to Barcelona. But shout out my boy Rafael because he knows Wagwan. Now, again, you have to remember that the players as well are absolutely all over the place because they're just like us. Like I told you guys a few videos ago, the players are like us, the fans. They are seeing everything from the media, and they have absolutely internally no idea what's going on. Mateo Morito has come out saying that right now there are players in the Barcelona dressing room that are in shock. They don't know what to think about it. There are various dynamics to play. For instance, if you have Xavi there, you know that there will be young players be given a chance and that he has confidence in Robert Lewandowski. But it's more about the atmosphere beforehand. Everything seemed like Xavi was continuing, and now there are doubts. So players who are told that they're going to leave, that they're going to stay, they got absolutely no idea what's going on. There were some videos of Romeu, Alonso, Rafinha, De Jong, and Araujo taking pictures and chilling at the Montjuic after the game, but players do that all the time. I'm pretty sure Frankie de Jong did that last season as well. I actually saw him last season at the Camp Nou, staying out afterwards. I think it was him, Roberto. I think Balde was there as well, and Pedri. So players do this all the time. I don't think their futures really entail whether they want to take some final pictures in a Barcelona gear or not. But I mean, I'm lost for words. I honestly think everything's pointing towards Xavi. The media are still very firm that Laporta wants to sack Xavi. Laporta wants to sack Xavi. Laporta wants to sack Xavi. But now the media are saying Laporta wants to sack Xavi, but anything can happen. Again, we've seen decisions flip left, right, and center. I think what's giving the most here is the leverage that Xavi has. The stadium was chanting his name. I would say the majority of the fan base want him to stay as well because the other options aren't. If there's like a Jurgen Klopp available or a Pep or whatever, then fine. I think the fan base would be a bit more open to it. But I think Xavi is a better manager than Flick for Barcelona. I think Xavi is a better manager than Tuchel for Barcelona. I think he's a better manager than Rafa Marquez for Barcelona. I think he's a better manager than Thiago Motta for Barcelona. I think he's a better manager than De Zerbi for Barcelona. I gave you 5 extra options there. None of those managers, in my opinion, can come in and have a greater impact than Xavi. They could maybe do the exact same job or worse, but I don't think they're a step up from Xavi. So he has that leverage with the fans being on his side. Again, sacking him will cost 20 million euros. Remember when we talked about this a few months ago, bringing in De Zerbi, bringing in other managers as well that would cost money. We were all saying you cannot spend money on a manager when you want to spend that money on players in the market. So if we spend 20 million euros to sack Xavi, which by the way, Xavi wants that money, I have no problem with him asking for it. I won't say he's, mercenary or anything like that. He's been flip-flopping. I have no problem. If he wants to give up the money himself because of his own love for the club, that's perfectly fine. But he wants to, keep that money and take that money because, as a revenge for Joan Laporta's situation, I have no problem with it whatsoever. But giving Xavi 20 million euros when you need money to invest in players in the market is nothing short of an absolute disgrace. I think that's why Xavi might have some leverage. I think Laporta might try to sack him. He said, you know what, you want to sack me? Give me my money. Where is my 20 million? And Joan Laporta's thinking, you know what? We actually don't have the 20 million. Also, we kind of want to use that money on the market. Stuff like that. But I'm still on the confident side that once these two meet face to face and discuss, I think things will change. They have a very good relationship. Again, Laporta begged him for about 4 months to stay. He ended up convincing Xavi to stay as well. I think Xavi might do the other thing as well. I think Laporta is just being super, super emotional. Again, like I mentioned before, like a girl in his period. He's just being I would say a B word. And this is the thing, right? It's not because Xavi's performing poorly or Xavi criticized Laporta in the media, diss his mother or says his daughter is clapped. No. It's because Xavi said a little quote where he states the obvious that, to compete with Real Madrid next season is going to be difficult, but we're confident we'll be able to do that with our, signings in the market and with the current players we have. And he lost his mind over that, which I still cannot believe. I still am in shock that he has reacted this much to that comment as well. If there was a different comment like, oh, Xavi, what are your thoughts on Barcelona next season? Oh, we're screwed. Well, we're just gonna, we'll try our best, but we're basically screwed. If he said something like that, then okay, you can have a debate there. Oh, you don't believe in the project, or oh, this is different from what you told us at the meeting. Sure, but Xavi states the obvious and then gets criticized for it. And also, since that press conference, Xavi's been being very, very slick in the media, backing Laporta, backing the project numerous amount of times, making it very, very clear from his perspective as well. Like he's saying after the game that, oh, I trust the squad 100%. Fantastic squad. Just this season, we've been pleased. He even said in the post-match against Rayo Vallecano that this season he still believes we played better than we did last season, but this season we made more individual mistakes, and of course our opponents capitalized on those mistakes. But Xavi genuinely believes that this season we played better than we did last season. So look. All I'll say is this: the fact that we have to wait another week for this is nothing short of an absolute disgrace. They should be having a meeting right now. For all I care about, you want to sack him afterwards, sure. I think Xavi will 1,000,000,000% should be the coach for the Sevilla game, which by the way we will lose, and we'll talk about that in the match preview on Saturday, I believe. And of course, the game got moved. But I cannot believe we're about to sit here for another week just waiting for moves. And I would say this: do not believe any of the rumors until they meet or until it's an official announcement. Because if the whole entire media comes out in synchronization saying that, oh, Laporta, final decision made, he's sacking Xavi 1,000,000,000% no matter what, until they meet, I still won't believe it. Because anything can happen. These two have an excellent relationship from the time that Xavi was a player until, of course, Laporta flew to Qatar to tell Xavi to come coach Barcelona. Like, I don't know, man. I think Laporta is just, whether he's sick or not as well, I don't know. But I think the Montjuic against Vallecano will definitely have some sort of implication on his decision. The whole entire stadium chanting Xavi Hernandez, Xavi Hernandez, and then chanting Barca si Laporta no, which again, this has happened now for the second time during his regime. Of course, it happened at the beginning of the economic lever summer. We signed all those players and everyone, backed Laporta again, which again, I still don't think Laporta's tenure has been bad. I think the only thing he did wrongly was, of course, this whole entire situation, whether, Xavi stays or not. And secondly, the Alonso renewal last season. But apart from that, I think Laporta has been damn near perfect with everything he's done. But this is just a bad look on him because it's a very crucial decision with not only sacking Xavi, but begging him to stay for 3 months, doing a whole entire press conference, keeping him, crying in that press conference, and then sacking him. Not only sacking him because he's not playing bad football, or that he came out in the media and disrespected you, because he stated the obvious in one quote. I don't know. We will wait and see how things turn out. If there's any other major updates, I will make a video, but expect a ghost town from me because there's nothing really I can do in terms of content because I'm not uploading half an hour, 40-minute transfer videos, putting my blood, sweat, and tears recording at 1 a.m. when it could mean absolutely nothing because if Xavi is sacked, transfer plan that we've been working on for the past 3 weeks is nothing. It's going to be out the window. Just burst it in flames, chuck it in the toilet, chuck it in the trash, and we reset. So we'll wait and see. Again, in the regards to the managers available, everyone's a downgrade from Xavi, in my opinion. I just don't want Rafa Marquez. I just want someone with it. Thiago Motta is a good coach, but I just want someone with experience. Someone has to come in there and, has been there and done it in the world of football. That's why I'd rather have Flick or Tuchel over Rafa Marquez and Thiago Motta. I'd rather have both of those two as well over De Zerbi. We just need someone with experience, not someone who has potential and he can play good football and, this is his next step up. I think we need some sort of stability with that experience. That's just my opinion, and we'll wait and see what the club do decide if they do sack Xavi, but let's wait and see. Again, we're going to have to wait another week for this, which does suck as a Barcelona fan sitting here waiting in anticipation. I really thought after the Vallecano game, there were reports that, oh, Xavi and Laporta are meeting right now, so I thought maybe then they were going to, discuss, but apparently Laporta was feeling sick. I don't know. So wait and see how things turn out. Of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts. If Xavi is sacked, who would you bring in? Would you sack Xavi? Your thoughts on Laporta dealing with this whole entire situation? The thoughts on Xavi dealing with the situation as well from his perspective. Thoughts on Xavi, asking for the money if he is sacked. Your thoughts, would you, see Xavi in a different light if that's the case? Also, your thoughts on Deco as well during this whole entire situation. He's barely been in the stadium as well. Apparently, he was in Portugal for personal reasons. Pulled up to the game for Barca Athletic over the weekend. Of course, he was at the game against Vallecano as well. But your thoughts on him. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.